Alright guys, welcome to the tutorial, and this time we're gonna cover the lighting effect from a fake muzzle flash as continued from the previous tutorial. So let's get right on to it. I know of 3 methods on how you can achieve this fake glow effect, so I'm going to teach you all 3 methods, starting with the first one, which is I think the freddiew method, which involves duplicating your source footage like this, Control D, setting the mode to add, then masking out the areas where the light would affect your actor. So I'm just gonna do it really roughly here. The key is to try to get the places where the light will obviously be falling onto, but don't overdo it either because it'll look weird. So you basically draw a mask using the pen tool, then hit F to bring up the feathering, and I like to use about 15. See, it looks kind of weird because I missed this part out, so oops, I didn't want to do that. Alright, like this. If it's a bit too jagged, just bring the feathering all the way up, maybe up to 45. And then we want to fade it in and only make it last 2 frames. So Alt begin bracket, hit T on your keyboard, set a keyframe using the stopwatch, go down 2 frames, 1, 2, set another keyframe. Drop the opacity to 0, and then Alt end bracket. So it's just yep. So this is one method to do, which basically involves duplicating your footage and then setting the blending mode to add and masking out the area of light. The second method involves excuse me, creating a new solid. So right click, new solid, make it a light color like orange or yellow, whatever color your muzzle flash is, so about orange maybe, and then setting the blending mode to add as well, or maybe even screen, depends on how it looks. Doing the same thing, just masking out the areas that would be affected by the light. We're definitely gonna have some of the wall here as well. Then the feathering up to 15 now. 45, 45. Now this is probably the method that I dislike the most. And you'll see why, because you need a lot more tweaking to make it look all legit, and sometimes it just makes everything look tinted like this, even though this part looks pretty good. I mean, with this part is pretty good, but the glow on his body is a bit seems kind of off. So you're just gonna do the same thing again. Alt begin bracket, set a keyframe, go down 2 frames, set a keyframe again, Alt end bracket, so it's only for 1 frame. And yeah, you have to play with the opacity a bit, because if you put it 100% it'll look like this, which is BS. So maybe around 10%. Let's check that out. Yeah, you can see that it looks kind of weird on the actor, even though it looks fine on the wall. Maybe we could increase the feathering a bit more. Well, that's the wrong one. To like a ridiculous amount. That looks kind of better. Okay, the last method, which I tend to use 90% of the time, is using an adjustment layer. So right click, new adjustment layer, And then we can add an exposure effect. Right click, color correction, exposure, set it to 1 or 2 depending on how well lit your scene is. In this case I think 2 is a bit too much, so 1 should do it. Again, get your pen tool, press G, or you can click up here. Mask around the parts where your actor is gonna be lit. You might be asking yourself, you know, how do I tell which ones are gonna be lit, which parts are gonna be lit, and which parts aren't? Well, there's really no way to tell for sure, so you sort of kinda have to guess. Again, feathering, bring it up to about 30, 15. Same thing, keyframe, Alt, begin bracket, set a keyframe 100, move down 2 frames, keyframe 0, Alt end bracket, so it's only 2 frames. Now of course we have this area inside here also which we want to get rid of, so let's just draw another mask. And set the mode to subtract. Feather it as well, 15. Then just so as you can see here, it's not very noticeable, so you can just bump up the exposure to 2. And now it looks much better. Maybe you can even bump it up to 3, I don't know. Still looks good actually. This is also my favorite because I can just duplicate the adjustment layer, and then let's say I want to paste it into another scene, so I can just paste it, find the point where I fire, and then delete the masks. Let's just shut this off for a sec. This is too much. And just draw a new mask. Feather the masks. And then maybe this is a bit too bright. Maybe 1. And then we can put it under the Muzzle Flash. And then there we have it. With, without, with, without. So yeah, that was it guys. First method is to duplicate the footage, and it looks like this. You can probably also use screen to look a little darker. It won't be as bright. Second method is to use a solid, which lets you have more color, but it might look a little strange on your character, or depending on what he or she is wearing. It looks like this. And my third method is an adjustment layer with an exposure effect. So yeah, that was it. Thanks for watching and good luck guys.